shocking twists are exploding in the fight between Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and Wayfair. And this latest move could destroy Blake's entire case before it even begins. Stay tuned because this story goes deeper than anyone imagined. And by the end, you won't believe the bombshell Wayfair just dropped. The feud between Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, Wayfair, and several PR teams has dominated headlines for months. Blake's lawsuit is packed with explosive allegations of retaliation, but many people are asking, didn't Blake already raise these issues while filming? Where did that go? After Blake filed her second amended complaint, Jed Wallace responded with a motion to dismiss. I said back then that Jed's filing was basically a playbook for Wayfair to take down Blake's claims, but Wayfair didn't copy Jed's strategy. They went bigger. They filed for a judgment on the pleadings, a legal move that could erase nearly the entire case, leaving only a simple contract dispute between It Ends With Us LLC, Blake Inc., and Blake herself. And trust me, the way this judgment works is designed to crush Blake's case step by step. A judgment on the pleadings works like a shortcut. It lets the judge look only at what's already written: Blake's complaint, Wayfair's response, and any documents Blake included, like her 17-point agreement. Here's Wayfair's key move. They're telling the judge, even if everything Blake says is completely true, her case still fails under the law. This could strip away Blake's biggest claims: sexual harassment, retaliation, and defamation, leaving her with almost nothing to fight for. If the judge agrees, it also gives Wayfair a strong backup plan for appeal. But the most shocking part? Wayfair is using Blake's own words against her. Wayfair starts by tearing apart Blake's harassment and retaliation claims. First, they point out a major problem. Blake is a New York resident, and filming took place in New York and New Jersey, not California. Blake even admits this in her own complaint, naming Justin Baldoni and Jaime Heath as being in New York during these events. Why does that matter? Because California's Fair Employment and Housing Act, FEHA, cannot apply to actions outside California. And Blake never says anyone in California with authority knew about or approved the alleged harassment. Without that link, her harassment claims instantly fall apart. Wayfair also points out that Blake never described any adverse employment action, like being fired, demoted, or blocked from opportunities. Her entire argument? A smear campaign. But here's the knockout punch. Blake filed her complaint against the wrong employer. Her actual employer was It Ends With Us LLC, not Wayfair Studios. Because she didn't file correctly, several of her claims could be thrown out immediately. But her biggest problem is the timeline, and it completely destroys her retaliation story. To prove retaliation, Blake has to show three things. She spoke up about harassment. Her employer knew about it. They punished her because of it. But here's where her case falls apart. She first complained in May 2023. She says retaliation started in August 2024. That's 15 months later. Wayfair shows legal examples where even 7 months is considered too long. 15 months? It's basically impossible to connect the two. Even counting from her January 4th, 2024 all-hands meeting, there's still a 7-month gap, which is also too long. Wayfair argues the so-called smear campaign wasn't retaliation. It was damage control. They had to protect Justin Baldoni and Wayfair from the storm of negative publicity Blake created herself, and the chaos at the movie premiere proves their point. The breaking point came at the It Ends With Us premiere. Text messages show Baldoni's team was already bracing for drama and planning how to protect him. On premiere night, Blake allegedly refused to be photographed with Baldoni and even told cast and crew to unfollow him on social media. Baldoni and his family were reportedly sent to the basement until she finished her red carpet appearances. Fans noticed, Reddit threads blew up, and speculation went wild. Wayfair says Blake created the exact negative narrative they were trying to prevent. And that's why Wayfair says their PR moves weren't revenge, they were survival. Blake's retaliation claim depends on proving a direct link between her harassment complaint and the so-called smear campaign. Wayfair argues there's no link at all. The PR team wasn't hired to attack Blake. Their real goal was to defend Baldoni and Wayfair, plan for negative publicity, manage rumors about film edits and feuds, protect Baldoni's reputation before the release. Blake calls this retaliation. Wayfair calls it self-defense and says it's not retaliation under the law. But now, Wayfair is ready to crush Blake's defamation and conspiracy claims. Blake accuses Wayfair of defamation, but here's the catch. The statements she's upset about are protected because they were tied to the legal process, a rule called litigation privilege. It's the same protection Blake had when she made her own complaint public. This means her defamation claim automatically fails. Her civil conspiracy claim collapses too. To prove conspiracy, Blake needed a valid underlying claim, like harassment or retaliation. But since those are falling apart, there's nothing left to conspire about. If the judge agrees, all that remains is 1 Title VII claim against Wayfair, 2 simple contract disputes over her agreements. Everything else would be gone. And just when it couldn't get any worse for Blake, Wayfair drops a final bombshell. Wayfair revealed something shocking. No one has produced a signed copy of Blake's loan-out agreement, the very contract at the heart of her lawsuit. If Blake never signed it, she may not have any legal grounds to sue at all. This could explain why she didn't include it when she filed her case. Wayfair argues this proves the whole battle isn't about harassment or retaliation. It's just a basic contract fight. In their view, Blake broke the agreement by speaking publicly, while they never said anything negative about her. Even if this motion doesn't end the case now, Wayfair can go to summary judgment next and bring in even more evidence. Blake's legal team will fight back, but with a missing signature and a shrinking case, can she survive the next round? Who do you think will come out on top? Blake Lively or Wayfair? Comment below with your thoughts.